Hey guys, in this video we're going to go over page 31 notes, comparing linear functions part 2. So it's actually the same page as page 30, so you do not need to tape anything extra down on page 31. We're just going to add on to page 30 notes. So just as a reminder, this is what page 30 notes look like. We are going to fill in the middle portion and we are going to compare the different parts. So in page 30 notes, we were comparing f of something or g of something, trying to determine which one is greater. So in this video, we are going to be comparing the key features. So let's review a little bit. The y-intercept of f of x was the table. So if we look at the table, we found our y-intercept when x is equal to 0, so 0, 3. The slope was our rise over run, that was our m value, that was also 3. So the equation was f of x equals 3x plus 3. So now what we're going to do, we're going to identify the y-intercept, which we already know, the x-intercept, we already know the slope. So we're going to be comparing those couple of things. So real quick, the x-intercept of this graph, we're going to graph it in Desmos. Y equals 3x plus 3. The x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis, so -1. And now we're going to do the same thing with g of x, which is the graph. So we said that the y-intercept of the graph is -6. That's where it crosses the y-axis. The slope was our rise over run. That was our m value. That was 1. So the equation that we wrote was g of x equals 1x minus 6. So we already know the y-intercept. We already know the slope. Now we're going to look at the x-intercept. So the x-intercept for this one's a little bit easier because we can see it on the graph. It looks like we crossed the x-axis at +6. So which one has the greater x-intercept? Well, 6 is bigger than -1, so g of x has the greater y-intercept. Okay, next, which one has the bigger y-intercept? So the y-intercept was -3 and -6, +3 and -6, sorry. So +3 is bigger than -6, so f of x has the greater y-intercept. And finally, let's compare the slopes. So the slope of f of x was 3, the slope of g of x is 1, so 3 is bigger than 1, so f of x also has the greater slope. So for page 31 practice, we are just going to be comparing the x-intercepts, the y-intercepts, and the slopes from the previous page that we already wrote the equations from the table and the graph. So these were a very short set of notes. We are going to go ahead and pause the video, get anything down that you missed, maybe on page 30 or 31, and then I will go ahead and give you the practice that goes along with page 31. It's the same practice as page 30, you're just doing additional questions on that practice.